Trump holds extremely productive call with Canadian Prime Minister. We agree on many things, okay? We agree on many things. Trump announced on Truth Social an extremely productive call with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, writing, I just finished speaking with Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. It was an extremely productive call. We agree on many things, and we'll be meeting immediately after Canada's upcoming election to work on elements of politics, business, and all the other factors. This will end up being great for both the U.S. and Canada. This marked their first conversation following Carney's rise to Liberal leadership with 86% of the vote after Justin Trudeau stepped down. Trump, known for his hardline trade stance, signaled collaboration despite tension over tariffs and dairy disputes. Mark Carney, 60, Canada's new prime minister, has declared on Thursday in Ottawa the old relationship we had with the U.S. based on deepening integration of our economics and tight securing and military cooperation is over. After meeting provincial premiers, speaking to reporters, he added the time will come for a broad renegotiation of our security and trade relationships, signaling a shift from the past U.S.-Canada ties. So watch this. Trump is being complimentary about Carney, okay? Trump is being complimentary about Carney. And what did he say about Pierre a couple weeks ago, Rob? You have the clip. If you can pull up the clip of what Trump said about Pierre. Trump, Pierre, and do you have it, Rob, or no?
I can find it.
Yeah, if you type in Trump, Pierre, there he was being asked about it. And this was Pierre's opportunity to get Trump to go on there. Anyways, right there, the 24-second one. I think that's the one. Bottom left, right there. I think this is the one. Is this the one, Rob?
Before I got involved and totally changed the election, which I don't care about. Probably it's to our advantage, actually. But the Conservative was leading against, I call him Governor Trudeau. The Conservative was leading by 35 points.
He's talking about Pierre.
So I don't know about that. I think Canada is a place like a lot of other places.
This
if
isn't
you
a
have a
clip.
good candidate.
I'm going to go to Tom. And Tom, Rob, you look for it if you can. But he was not complimentary about Pierre because Pierre wasn't complimentary about Trump. And that created a rift. Tom, what are your thoughts on this, what he said about Carney?
Well, two things. There's the art of the deal going on here. And you can see President Trump does it all the time. Push really hard on a position, pin them, but then back off and give them an opportunity to move to a spot you want them to move. And that's what he just did here. The other side now, and he's also hedging, he's hedging the bet. Because this side has been in a statistical tie over the last couple of weeks and now is slightly ahead in the polling. The Conservatives are slightly behind because Pierre Poilievre has been really kind of fumbling the lead and opportunity he had to the point that he got one of the fellow Conservatives kind of to do an RFK move to join him. So what Trump is doing here, I think he's pushing hard, but then he's giving a compliment and giving them an opportunity to move to a spot they want. And also, Pat, take a look at what the Prime Minister said. What was the first word and the second word of what he said, Pat? The time will come for a broad renegotiation of our first word, security relationship, and second word, trade relationship, which is what Pat has been talking about. Mexico and Canada for a long time. They only spend this much of their GDP because they know we are the real protection power, and what we spend on GDP protects them. It's interesting, isn't it?
I agree. Do you think a negotiation was done there? Do you think Trump said, if you do this, if you do that, if you do this, I'll be complimentary? And do you think Carney asked indirect? Because, Tom, if you read Trump's Truth Social, if you go back to it, that's an endorsement. This is an endorsement. Let me explain to you why. The keywords in this Truth Social to making an endorsement is what? Watch what it says. And we will be meeting immediately after what? Canada's upcoming election.
The snap election.
That's an endorsement. Mm-hmm. Meaning he's going to win. Trump is saying Carney's going to win.
Wow.
That's correct.
So Trump is helping a liberal in Canada over a Pierre because of Pierre's arrogance.
Wow.
That's correct.
Think about that. By the way, do you remember when I had somebody on the podcast sitting over here when I said, why did you not visit Mar-a-Lago to just have a conversation with the president? I don't need to have that conversation. Why would I go to him? He helped you become a governor. Why don't you have a conversation with him? I don't need to have the conversation with him. All Pierre had to do was come to Mar-a-Lago, go to the White House, have a conversation with the guy. Now, listen, Canada would have said if he would have been seen with Trump, they hate him in Trump, they hate him all this other stuff, right? Look at this here. Canadian conservatives, here's some unsolicited advice to you. Stop being so easy on your candidates. Pierre Poilievre. Stop assuming they're automatically going to win. Stop being so overcautious and scared of what liberal media in Canada will do to your candidates. That's the old COVID era mindset. Rob, go a little lower if you could. I can't read the rest. Stop walking on eggshells trying to run a campaign in the old school consultant-driven, wear this tie, get this haircut, wear that shirt BS. Grow some balls. Trump worked his ass off. He didn't have all conservative libertarians or independents till the last 90 days. But he went and earned every single one of their votes. He went on 20-plus podcast appearances, not including a ton of campaign and media stops. He did this at the age of 78. Pierre is 45 years old, campaigning like he's Biden's age. He's a great speaker. He's very talented, but damn, he comes across lazy, pompous, and entitled. I initially wanted to help him, but at this point, my concern is more about the people whom I love in Canada, to get a candidate that will fight for them. I had Max on, but for whatever reason, Canada is treating him the way U.S. did with RFK. I respect the hell out of his willingness to talk. Max said something about them dropping to go be part of a Pierre. Whether that is a April Fool stunt or not, I don't know. We'll see as the day goes out. I don't know if I like that joke either, because it undermines his campaign. If it's a joke, I'm not a fan of it. This may be your last chance at strengthening the relationship with U.S. or the ship may sail. Here's a list of people I would beg for your candidate to go on. Tucker Lex, Ryan Morgan, Cuomo, Theo, Folsen, Candace, Glenbeck, Breakfast Club, Ben Shapiro, Kirk, Walsh, Ruben, Brand, Outkick, Phil, Schultz, and of course, Joe Rogan. Beg if you must. Maybe even ask if Musk would consider doing a Twitter space with him. Long shot, but you must ask. Most of the names above won't be interested because they're all busy with a ton of guests who want to get on. But hold Pierre's foot to the fire. Stop being so easy on him. Tag him and his entire campaign team on this thread. It drives me crazy seeing all the ass kissing as if he's already won. Push him, challenge him. The future of Canada is predicated on you holding him accountable. I hear some Canadians say, why should Pierre go on podcasts in the U.S.? They say it's a waste of time. What they don't understand is that these podcasts cut clips that will be shared on all social media platforms, X, TikTok, Insta, Facebook, YouTube. That's how Trump dominated the news and social media cycle. Time is running out. You know what they're going to do about it? Nothing.
Zero.
And Carney's going to win.
And to answer your question, I do believe a deal is in the background. Because remember, Trump wants a economic and trade deal. He doesn't want a public policy deal. Let Canada handle their own public policy if they want to vote liberal, conservative. But Trump wants his economic trade deal. And I believe the answer to what you asked me, Pat, is yes. A framework of a deal was put in place. Okay, good. We're good here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go say something. As long as I have your word, I'm going to go say something. And that's it.
Canada. I was out at dinner last night. This guy came up to me and he goes, "Hey man, you're Adam from the PBD Podcast, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I freaking hate you." No, I'm just kidding. He goes, "I really love what you guys are doing, especially with the Canada stuff." I said, "Oh yeah, why is that?" He goes, "Because there's a lot of us in Canada that support you." Like on Connect, Vinny, how many Canadians reach out?
It's ridiculous.
They're like, "Dude, how can I get out of here?"
Yeah, no, I had a phone call with somebody yesterday.
Here's the problem, though. Canada is incredibly progressive. I think they're like a top 5, at least top 10 super progressive country in the world. I think the most progressive countries in the world, progressive, are sort of the Scandinavian places, Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, that kind of a thing. And then you have Canada. And then, in America, we're seeing the rise of wokeness and DEI and the progressives. If you look at like the world index, USA is like top 25 as far as like progressive. Canada is ridiculously progressive. Think about how bad Justin Trudeau had to be for them to be like, please leave. They wanted this guy. They wanted this male feminist in power. So for a conservative to win in Canada, it's so hard to do. Pierre Poilievre, I think 2 months ago, was at 95%. That's how bad Trudeau was. Soon as they replaced Trudeau, look at the crisscross of likelihood of who will become the next Prime Minister of Canada. You talked about this with Maxime, right? But Canada is going to get what they pay for. And they're going lefter and lefter and lefter. And at this point, we might have to build a wall between Canada and the United States, because once these leftists take over, it's going to get real ugly.
But by the way, though, I mean, this has shown what? This has shown Pierre was at 93% on January 1st. Now he's at 35% and going lower. Okay, it's not like he's making any kind of
It's
progress.
plummeting.
And Carney's going higher. FYI, to the conservatives, independents, and libertarians that are upset when, I talk about what I say with Pierre, or, we talk about the stuff with Canada, guess what? This is on your candidate. Don't be upset at Americans. Yeah. He did this. He had the biggest lead. He should have been it, not anybody else. Stop putting your frustration on, I can't believe you're saying this. By the way, can you go back to that tweet I posted and go to the comment section? Can you go to the comment section about Canada? Yeah, if you can go right there. Just go lower and see how people are reacting. Canada, stop meddling. You have no idea how Canada works. I responded, get off X if it bothers you.
Yes.
Or hold your candidates fire to the feet. You're capable of doing that. The next person says, Americans don't understand Canada. Pierre would still be far ahead if Trump hadn't played his tariff game. The fools we have crawl back into the abuse of government out of fear. Pierre will be like Trump because the media here hold them. Unfortunately, now Rob, can you press on show more? Now more Canadians have a negative opinion about the U.S. If Pierre won on American right-wing podcast, I guarantee you will not help. Carney hasn't even gone on popular liberal shows in America since he's won the leadership. I thought you would be smart enough to put this together. Keep repeating this nonsense narrative. How has it worked for you for the last few years, fearing the leftist mainstream media? They've accomplished their mission by scaring the hell out of you and your candidates to not speak to conservatives. Go a little lower. See what people are saying here. People back and forth. This other one, I agree completely by why he ain't coming on yours. His campaign was extremely... Rob, what did Tony tell us about how his campaign was with us?
Non-responsive.
The first two times. One time a lady hung up on him.
And he called back, right? I was
And
like,
he
yo,
called
did you
back,
hang up on me?
and they're not picking up. And it's like, it was we were busy. Yeah. Why did you hang up on our booker? His campaign team immediately extremely disrespectful to a booker, and it happened on two separate occasions. The other two celebrities have carried themselves in the same way that he did. Everybody else would deal with it as easy. It all comes from the top. This has to change for him to have a fighting chance. Arrogant, pompous, lazy doesn't work no matter where you go. Certain principles are evergreen no matter where you live, whether it's U.S., Canada, Russia. It doesn't matter where you live. You have to go earn that vote. And unfortunately, this is going to be the biggest, most humiliating loss a politician had with a massively... This is worse than the Patriots against the Falcons. This is worse than the Red Sox against the Yankees comeback 2000. And what year was that, Tom? The Yankees,
04.
Red Sox, 04. Mm-hmm. This is... If Pierre loses, this is the worst loss of our generation a famous politician has had. Maybe the most embarrassing because the man simply doesn't want to work and go earn the vote. And he's doing it the same old-fashioned way. The guy's been in politics since he was 25 years old, and seems like a good guy, seems like a nice guy. But oh my God, diplomacy is not something of his strength. For him to be able to have the relationship and walk through it and be able to keep that momentum going. Unfortunately, he helped conservatives have Mark Carney here very soon.
Also, Trump.
And when is it coming up? By the way, when is the election for Canada?
Are they doing the snap
in May?
No, I think it's the 29th of April. I may be wrong.
Yeah,
but
it's a snap election. He was
what day is
permitted
it?
April 28th.
April 28th.
Correctamundo.
And
you know who's the campaign manager of Mark Carney? You know who's the number one campaign manager of Mark Carney? Pierre Poilievre.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Also,
Pierre
Trump.
Poilievre.
Well,
Trump has turned him into sort of a martyr and a hero because their whole party, not that I'm the expert on Canadian politics, you saw the numbers. This party was going nowhere. I mean, they were the party of Justin Trudeau. His approval ratings were in the basement. And then Trump started doing a trade war with Canada. And like, you know how you almost went to Boston because they'll be like, oh, what's up? You want to go? Like, you want to have people get fired up. And they use Trump as a symbol for what's going to happen. And I'll just repeat, Canada is super, super progressive. So if they have an enemy and that enemy is Trump, it rallies the troops.
But what's your point, though? Your point is what? That what?
That Trump motivated Canadians
Let me ask you a question.
to root for Carney.
Let me ask you a question. What is a more socialist country, Canada or Argentina?
Socialist is different than progressive, in my opinion. So socialist, probably Argentina.
Okay.
Progressive, Canada.
What is harder to flip? What is harder to flip?
Well, one is more economic, I feel.
Right.
And then one is more ideas.
What is harder to flip?
Culture.
Think about what is harder to flip. Okay, and think about to be able to live in Argentina and you're a socialist country and you're able to flip that and have a good relationship with Trump. Think about Bukele. You're living in a country where crime is where it's at with MS-13 and you're going straight against them and you flip that. What is harder to do? Think about you're in Canada, which you're a conservative. You could have easily been able to make a lot of noise and gone out there and campaigned. You were served on a silver platter. Canada, the last 5 years, how ugly was Canada with progressive policies that they came out? My
Ugly in your opinion. Canada actually loves that stuff.
Yeah, not everybody though. Not everybody.
Of course, not everybody, because there's two sides to the coin.
But
a lot of people voted for that nonsense.
Yeah,
that's why they're progressive.
But a lot of people also voted for Biden for that nonsense.
Yeah.
So Canada may be more progressive.
No, not maybe. They definitely are.
Canada may be more progressive than
Okay,
U.S.
you want to
is.
say maybe? I'm going to say definitely.
Canada may be more progressive than
right.
U.S. is. Maybe.
I mean, look at the rankings. I'm not like I'm making this up.
For the third time, Canada may be more progressive than U.S. may be. That may be correct. However, why are so many people here when we're going to, different places? You say, I'm here from Canada. What happened? I left. Why'd you leave? Because of Trudeau. What happened under Trudeau? This. What happened with the truckers? What happened with all these people that were protesting? What happened with all these people around the country? You don't think everybody was paying attention? If you're saying the progressives are against it, why was Trudeau's approval rating the lowest ever? Who did that? Progressives? You don't think a lot of
That's
that were
how bad he was.
But you don't think progressives, because you just said progressives.
You could just find the rankings, Rob, if you just
Adam,
put it
if you
up there.
let me finish, progressives are that supportive of progressive policies, had Canada ever had somebody that was more progressive than Trudeau? You just said Canada's more progressive.
Maybe his father.
But you just said he was more progressive. So if he's
you think I know this?
No, but what
off
I'm
the top
saying,
of my head, it's ChatGPT
Adam,
ranking progressive
that's not
countries.
what I'm asking you.
Rob, you have ChatGPT, buddy?
If you're saying that Canada is more progressive,
yes,
Justin is a very progressive candidate.
Yes.
Why was his approval rating so low?
Because he was a very bad candidate. Very bad.
But he's very progressive.
Yeah.
Do you think some progressives flipped on him just like they flipped on Biden and Kamala, and some of the guys are like, I'm out? Do you think some progressives...
But Pat, what's your point? Because are you saying that it's all Pierre Poilievre?
No, that's not what I'm saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying.
Look, here's the rankings from the most progressive countries. Like I said, the Scandinavian countries. Where's Canada?
10.
Okay.
You can scroll down, Rob. Thanks, buddy. Now, put the top 50.
Let me
the United States is like number 30.
But let me make the point.
They're way more progressive.
If you're going to say somebody is very progressive, if you're going to say that, that Canada's more progressive, and you have a very progressive candidate, why are you not happy about him?
Who?
Progressives. So if progressives are not happy about him...
Because they were sick of the guy. He was like an old beard. Just like, get this guy out of here. Like, they were done. They were done. Change. It's either change or hope in an election.
Between Carney...
They wanted Trudeau out of there.
Between Carney and Trudeau, who's more progressive?
I don't know. I think they're both equally progressive.
What I'm saying to you is,
the fact that Justin Trudeau cries on camera, calls himself a male feminist, I'm going to lean that guy's direction.
If you're making the argument that he is more progressive, they had a more progressive candidate. Why do they not like him?
Because they're sick of him.
Why was go to the poly market, Rob. Because don't take this off the conservatives. Don't take this responsibility off conservatives. Why is the poly market have Pierre at 93% in January? Why?
Because that was before Trump took office. And then Trump came to office, started going a literal trade war with Canada. It galvanized the people of Canada. They inserted this new candidate, and they're like, let's rally around this guy.
Wait a minute.
Because we're going against Trump.
So
Because people are more willing to rally against an enemy like Trump.
Now you're at a place.
Than a vanilla candidate like Mark Carney.
Now you're at a place. Is Trump going to do Trump all the time? Is Trump going to be Trump all the time?
Yes.
Is Trump going to do what Trump does all the time?
Yep.
Yes. So is this more a credit to Carney's diplomacy on knowing how to handle Trump and a shot at Pierre for not knowing how to handle Trump? Does the credit go to the candidate that knew how to handle Trump better than the other? Do you give credit to Carney for learning how to deal with Trump versus Pierre not knowing how to deal with Trump?
Sure, I'll give him some
Okay,
credit.
that's the argument. So the argument here is not on the fact that Canada is more progressive or not. The argument is on the fact that Pierre mishandled Trump. The same way DeSantis mishandled Trump. It's a mishandling of Trump. If Trump is number one in the world, and that's who he is today, if Obama was number one in the world when he was a leader of the free world, you have to learn how to deal with him. You have to learn how to manage and deal with him. Pierre didn't know how to deal with Trump. He didn't understand the power dynamic, something a lot of people don't understand. Something a lot of people like James Worthy comes to the Lakers, he thinks he's a better player than Magic Johnson. Magic's like, you either can go to a different team or you have to realize this is my team. And if you don't understand it, you can go anywhere else. Magic was very clear about it. It's Trump's world right now. And Pierre didn't know how to coexist in Trump's world. And that is his error. And Carney gets credit for being able to play the politics better. And by the way, his policies are not necessarily better for Canada, but he did a better job on how to deal with Trump. And who loses? Conservatives of Canada. Welcome. Your guy Poilievre didn't know how to handle Trump. So it's very easy for people to say, well, no, it's really this. It's all Trump's fault. It's all Carney's fault. It's all the liberals' fault. It's all the mainstream media's fault. I am very simple. It comes back to the way you handled it. The way you mishandled this opportunity, you went from 93 to 35.
Wow.
Who was the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons? Who's the quarterback
That was
of the
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Did Tom Brady win that Super Bowl, or did Matt Ryan lose that Super Bowl?
A little bit of both.
I think Ryan lost.
There is no way it's a little bit of both. It for sure is Matt Ryan lost it. You're winning 28-3.
Correct.
And you lose?
So it's not on the defense? You're not giving Tom credit?
You didn't score a single touchdown second half. No, I'm giving Tom credit. Of course, Tom is the GOAT. But what I'm trying to say is, was it more Matt Ryan losing it, or was it more Tom Brady winning it? Of course, it's more Matt Ryan losing it. How do you lose that?
Well,
You're going into the fourth quarter with a 23, what is it, third quarter with 3 minutes left.
28-9.
Yeah, and you lose that. This is embarrassing what Pierre did here. And his voters, his base, should be on his side. In 2020, when we're talking podcast and Trump loses, what did I talk about in 2020 when I talked about Trump? Do you remember? Because you were there. What did I talk about with Trump when he lost in 2020?
Remind me, because there was a lot of things going on.
No, but
COVID,
what was it that he stopped doing that I said, go back to what worked in 2016?
Selling the dream?
Selling the dream. And what was he constantly doing?
The nightmare?
The unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. It's
The
unfair.
victim.
Yeah, and so guess what? Yeah, of course they played the game. Of course they manipulated. Of course they did what they did. Of course it was election interference. But at the same time, it's more on how you handle it. Nobody in the right sense knew how to handle COVID. That was a very weird situation for us to go through. But here, Pierre was handed this to him.
Go for it.
Handed. Hey, you're going to be the PM. And he started thinking he's bigger than Trump.
Eating an
And
apple.
then you try to embarrass Trump publicly? No problem. Here you go. And why does Carney know how to do this? Because Carney was a what before? He was in the investment banking
Economic
for
Forum,
19 years. What do you learn when you're a businessman?
Negotiations?
And learning how to broker deals. What do you not learn in politics? It's power. It's like, well, you go give a speech in front of everybody. No, in business, deals are done behind closed doors. And Pierre didn't know how to make the one phone call. Hey, I'd like to speak with the president.
Well, it's certainly on, I guess here's my point. It's certainly on Pierre Poilievre. But I guess what I'm also saying is don't discount how much Canadians dislike Trump. So once this trade war started and Mark Carney was catapulted to the forefront of the election, and the people were galvanized by being against Trump. I think we're saying the same thing. I'm just saying it's not binary. It's not all on Pierre Poilievre or not.
I know, but what I'm saying, like, for example, if we want something, who wants something from who? Does Canada want and need more stuff from U.S., or does U.S. need and want more stuff from Canada? Who needs who more?
Canada needs us so
Does
much
Pierre need Trump, or does Trump need Pierre?
Pierre needs Trump.
Yeah, Trump don't
Big
need
time.
Pierre.
That's
But
the
we do import a lot of things from Canada.
we
though.
do.
It's
We
not
do.
like they're, I mean,
Every-
yes, we're bigger, we're better, we're stronger, we're doper, we're the best. But like, they got a lot going on, Canada. They got some stuff.
But whatever Canada does, we can get elsewhere.
Dude, this is just a political miscalculation by Pierre Poilievre
Nightmare.
of a freaking Olympic level. He gets the gold medal for political miscalculations, right? I'm not picking on him as a human being. I'm saying is this was a terrible miscalculation, and now he's in this corner. And by the way, there are a lot of people put comments on this that say we get Canada right and wrong and things like this. But I'll tell you, Ontario, where Toronto is, Quebec, where Montreal is, that's like New York and California. That's where the weight of the populace is. But you go to Yukon, Northwest Territory, Alberta. Alberta is the Texas of Canada. Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And you find people that are annoyed with what's happened with the Trump tariffs. But these are conservative people that are looking around, shaking their heads, saying, "What just happened?" They see this stuff too. And by the way, Polymarket's only one poll. It's a little closer than that, but Poilievre never should have squandered this lead, never should have gone this. And it's because, guess what? One guy came from the Bank of England, one guy came from a business, was making decisions, and the other guy was making speeches. And the guy making speeches make terrible miscalculations. Pat is absolutely correct on this, how it shakes out. And I think you need to look a little deeper at the people of Canada, because there's some conservatives in Western Canada that are pretty pissed off right now. They're annoyed with Trump, yes, but they're pissed off that their conservative leader. How did we blow this thing? All we had to do was survive to the election, and we're going to take care of Justin Trudeau. And we're finally going to be out under that 10-year problem. And then this happens. Do you know, how do they feel?
Yeah, and mind you, not to cut you off, Adam, Mark Carney went up, and Rob, I sent you that clip of what he said, what he's going to do. You know, not threatened like we're going to go to war, but he was like, stated political, economic, military relationship between the U.S. is over. It's over. This is the clip right here. It's like 18 seconds.
We will need to ensure that Canada can succeed in a drastically different world. The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over.
That's what, because of Pierre, now you got that guy, a WEF guy. That's the guy that you guys are going to get. Congratulations.
I just...
Bye.
Why are we fighting with Canada? We should be fighting with China. China who's been taking advantage of us.
Well, they're the ones
for
booing,
the past 40 years.
Well, they're the ones booing our national anthem. They want the smoke.
But like, what,
they want the smoke so they can get it.
I don't get the fighting with Canada.
Me neither. It's them.
Okay, I don't get it. And like, Canada is like the California of countries. That's like, of course, there's going to be a third of Californians who are like, F Gavin Newsom, F Karen Bass is ridiculous. But then you're going to have the vast majority being like, yes, I want all of that and then some. So that's Canada. So they're going to make their bed. They're going to have to line it with their maple syrup and their maple leaves. That's it.
Yep.
We're going to see what's going to happen here. But the reality of it is, it's either Trump wants him in because he wants the trade war to continue. It's either Trump wants him in because he's agreed to terms with Trump to speak, and Trump told him, if you turn on me, I'm going to turn on you like never before. So whatever commitments he made to him on the phone call, he has to keep. Or Trump is so offended by Pierre's disrespect and lack of diplomacy that he says, F that guy, I'm moving on. He has no clue what he's doing. He's too arrogant. He's too entitled. It could be as simple as Trump invited Pierre to come to the White House and come to Mar-a-Lago, and he declined it. It could be that simple. Yeah. Any of those things is a screw up. Because you think American conservatives would rather have Carney or would rather have Pierre? What do you think?
Pierre.
Of course.
But
Of course. But it's your mishandling. Trump is not going to help you become a president. You got to go earn it. And the way he's playing it is it doesn't make any sense to him. I'm not a Canadian. I don't live there. But, seeing the way this was handled, extremely embarrassing. If you were at the Vault conference, we had these backpacks. And the backpacks went off like it was gone within minutes. That for the rest of the 3 days, everybody was asking, where are the Valuetainment backpacks? I want them. This is genuine leather, red, limited edition, numbered on the side, out of 100, okay? And then it's the Valuetainment logo on the front. It says Valuetainment right here. Even this, what do you call it? The zipper, here, it's got the Valuetainment logo on it. Limited edition, red, Valuetainment backpack, genuine leather. These will go in no time. There's only 100 of these. You won't see these again. Limited on the side. It's got it numbered. Whatever number you're going to be getting, 2 out of 100, 58 out of 100, it'll be numbered. And then typically when you see these, what ends up happening is some people buy them and they post them on eBay and they sell it for 3 times. And you see that with hats. Some of the hats that we have, the Future Looks Bright hat, are on eBay. Some guys are selling for $3,500, $3,000, $500. And some of them are able to sell them. But for you, if you're somebody that follows Valuetainment very closely and you're proud of the brand and you want to sport it, go get these limited edition 1 out of 100 red leather backpack on vtmerch.com. These will go in no time. Maybe a good gift for your husband. Maybe a good gift for your son. Maybe a good gift for somebody that would actually, maybe for your wife, somebody that would sport this. But go to vtmerch.com to place your order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.